Welcome, Hagerman community. This is your chairman, Brian Whitmarsh, providing you a quick update as to what took place in last night's board meeting, Monday, April 18th, 2022. First of all, as you entered the board meeting, there was some student protesters, and wanted to recognize them, went out, chatted with them, read their posters, took a picture with them. The board wants to compliment those students. They got their message across, and they did it in a civil way, and we're very respectful. I invited them into the board meeting. They came into the board meeting to be a part of the process, and they were very respectful. So thank you, students, and that's democracy in action, so it's great. We started off, we had call to order, did the Pledge of Allegiance, we approved the current agenda, we went through some special reports and activities. We had Mr. Knapp talk to us about the achievements of the FFA program. They had a leadership conference, and our school was very well represented and came home with a lot of hard work. So great work there. We recognized the Employees of the Month, Tammy Scott, certified, and Melissa Boyd as classified. Thank you for all that you do. Congratulations. We then went in and approved the consent agenda, which is all the bills and everything that the board reviews. Public input. We had one public input request for an item to be added to the agenda. That happens a week in advance. I've made the URL easier for you to get to, so if anyone thinks their voice cannot be heard, please let them know. Go to tinyurl.com/yourhjsdvoice. If you do it a week ahead of time, you can suggest for an item to be added to the agenda. Up until the start of the meeting, you can ask to provide any public input on any of the current agenda items. We definitely want this to be, it is a board meeting held in public. We definitely want to hear from the community, and as long as they follow the process, we do not deny them. So we did have one agenda item requested this month that was added to the agenda a week ahead of time. Josiah Knapp was that individual, and then we have 5 individuals that asked to provide public input during the board meeting. All 5 spoke. It was Josiah and Jessica Knapp that spoke. Cindy Kinder provided input. John Lopez and Jared Hilliard. So all those, we appreciate the input, and like I said, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to figure out where to go to follow the process. tinyurl.com/yourhjsdvoice. We then had an administrative report by Dr. Jim Brown. One of the highlights that I pulled out of it was the new track project that is underway. We are actually building a runway. We have very limited space. Obviously, we can't build a whole track, but we can at least get our jumpers the ability to experience a runway before they go to meets. And the Booster Club has worked with the district and the athletics program and has donated the money to build a temporary rollout mat and has done a ton of work. So we greatly appreciate the Booster Club and everyone involved there. We will have a runway for the kids to practice long jump, triple jump, the jumping events. We then went into informational items. Ellen Jadwin provided us an update on the Medicaid billing. We had board member training. Brian Moore led that. We went into a discussion around dual credit courses. Josiah Knapp provided input and others provided input. It's very important to us. We know that we have lost some of our staff members that were involved in that, but we are going to pick that up, make sure that does not drop. That's very important to us. We talked about ESSER funds and how those are being utilized. That's the COVID money. Then we went into our action items section. We had Daniel Knapp and present the RFQ for the new Ag edition, and we approved to move forward with that. So moving into the design phase, which has to precede the actual building and going out for a request for that. We then discussed and approved to join the state health insurance plan. That'll allow all of our staff members to be able to have coverage, the same coverage that our state employees. It's great coverage, and we approved that. We had a bunch of feedback, had a survey, and overwhelmingly it was a yes. So we approved that. We approved the transportation contract. We went through and talked about premium payments, staff premium payments, had some discussion around that. We then went into the grounds equipment. We approved getting rid of an old broken down tractor, looking to improve how we're doing grounds maintenance and so on. We went and approved, or we discussed the survey. We've had, in the past, we've had some surveys that go out that weren't completely clear. We discussed that, and we're going to put a policy in place so that we only go out with these surveys in a uniform manner, and that it's clearly articulated as to what the survey is for and what we're trying to get. We don't want to just spam the community, and we want to make sure that those surveys are handled appropriately. So we're going to draft a proposal for that procedure next board meeting. Talked about the interview committee structure, talking about each interview for our certified staff, making sure that we have a high school staff representative, grade school staff representative, the high school and grade school admins, community member. We also talked about having kind of first right of refusal when we're talking about athletics, because our booster club is very involved in the athletic program, helping support it. And we want them to be able to, if they have a community member, they're all community members, right? That we want to give them the ability to be on that committee and give them the ability to be that one of those community members when we're talking around athletics, because they have a lot of insight there and very focused on the athletics aspect of the community. We then went in and approved the budget hearing, which will be the June board meeting, June 20th. And we went in and approved the contract renewals for the Venture Upwards, which is our online program, learning program. We approved the website hosting contract. We approved the speech and language pathologist contract and the psychological services contract as well. Then went into executive session, and we came out of the executive session around 10:50 p.m. and we approved Leland Johnson's request for some additional leave, unpaid leave. We approved the renewal contract for Matt Cottom to continue our IT services. We had to accept the resignation for our high school principal, Jaron Wadsworth, our high school math teacher, Galena Mackey, and our special ed director, Lynn Arriaga. We wish them all the best. We then went in and approved new hires. We have Chelsea Johnson, who will be our 5th grade teacher next year, and we have Valerie Chappell, who is a new junior high middle school teacher, 7th through 9th grade, and has a math endorsement, so that's great. Our next board meeting is scheduled for May 16th. We greatly appreciate all the public input and involvement in our process. Thank you and have a great day.